This is not where you're supposed to be looking to come to Canada to get rich. You're coming here to get rich in knowledge and experience, not in your pocket. Hi, as you can tell from the title, today we're going to be talking about money and how much it costs to study in Canada. Now, the bulk of your budget goes to tuition. I have some links below that show you the average amount that it costs to go to school per province. So I know that Ontario is high up there, and at my college specifically, for a year, that's 2 semesters, it would usually come about between like 14 closer to the 15 mark and 16 closer to the 17 mark for your annual tuition. And that could be the difference between diploma and degree, or depending on what field you're venturing in. So there's that. Now, with that kind of money in the back of your head, translate it to Jamaican using like 106. I'm not have my calculator, I'm gonna go get it. Alright, so say $15,000 times 106, give or take. That's $1,559,000 Jamaican dollars for the year. No, you don't need that money up front. I didn't have that money up front. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a warning video also to let you know your best bet right now is to have that money up front or have a direct means of getting that money. So I will do it over here. So tuition. And I did it at the lowest amount, right? All right, call it 1.5 mil for a year. Minimum. No. You see that number? If you choose to start school in January, you goose cook. I did that. Don't do that. As much as you can, apply for September semester. Because if you start in January, colleges in Canada, I'm not talking about universities, it's a whole different ball game for them. And yeah, colleges that start in the fall are your best bet. January to April, and then May to August, and then September to December, and then January to April. See that? If you're starting in January, you're gonna get a summer break. Don't start in January, because then you're gonna be doing 4 semesters back to back, and I promise you, it's gonna bite you in the ass, bud. Now, I do recommend starting in September, because if you do it in January, you have to come up with this times 2. So that's 3 million Jamaican dollars up front. You have $3 million Jamaican dollar up front. You have means to get the $3 million Jamaican up front like one time, go ahead. But I recommend this way. And let me tell you why. Because you do September to December, and then January to April, and then you have May to August out of classes where you can work up some money, as well as your parents have a little break to come up with the rest of the money. Because in this time, June to July, before they ask you for money again, at least at my school. Them here 1 year, they might ask you for money from July for year. So for January, they might ask you for money from November for me, them I got ask you for money from March, and then for September, like the money overlaps. It doesn't. You don't get a break. The money overlaps. Like in the middle of all of this, them I go want them money. Right. Then, now that we have tuition or an idea of tuition out there, there's a link below to show you like the different provinces and how much it costs. Just know that the local numbers are very, very much smaller than this. So if you are choosing to study in Ontario, which there's a lot of recommendations from me on that, I might do it in another video, but for the overall sense is that Toronto it's a city, a bigger city than a lot of them around the place. Jobs are easier to get, transportation kind of reliable-ish, like, plus it's so much more multicultural than a lot of other provinces and cities. So you might want to check it out. All right, so now that we have tuition under control, we go down to living expenses, and the big chunk of your living expense goes to rent. Cool? Rent. Now let's say you're in the safe spot and you spend $700 a month on rent. Cool? I recommend having the first semester's rent in advance, so that September, October, November, December, 4 months, 4 sevens. Anyone? $2,800. No. Starting school in the fall, most of the students already secured their job in summer, and kind of saying, hey, in fall we're gonna have to switch up my hours, but I'll be here. You, on the other hand, come here late August, most of the job them done. It's gonna take a while to get a job. So don't think say your rent money I go covered by the job where you go get. Secure this money. All right. So I'm gonna put this up here. So, oof. Right, so $2,800 plus your 1.5. Now this will be like your first and last. No, honestly, this is your first 3 months rent, because first and last month no come. Have that money in the bank. Transportation. Now, if you go bus it, I recommend going to a college in the city that you plan to live or that you live, or getting a house in the city that you plan to go to college and work. And the simple fact that 1 month bus pass, I think 160 something or 170 thereabout. That's for the month. Now, TTC is $3.25, and at basic we have times that by 31 days and then times it by 2. I'm gonna draw from the calculator. 3.25 times 31 times 2. $201.05. That is thinking that, all right, yeah, go left, go to school and going back, and then go work on the weekends, like, and just going back. In the first month, at least, I recommend getting the bus pass, because enough time I did last and enough money I waste the first time I come here. And the TTC always end up on one train station or one bus station, and it is so much easier to navigate from there. Learn your closest train station or bus station when you come here or before you come here, and don't get lost like me. Enough Uber, enough taxi, me don't money pan. But Carly say you're gonna spend $160, $170 a month. Now, if you're different or you prefer things to be smooth and you can afford it, you might do car. You might buy a car or whatever. You're gonna have your car payments and anything else. Oh, this is not concrete too, because there are days when the TTC go fail you and you're gonna go for maybe like the GO train, depending on where you're going or where you're coming from. Like, rule out like $250 for transportation for the month, give or take. For me, when I went through my little time there, I never used to get up out of my bed till half an hour before I figure out work. So you know, say the money when I go work, it done from Uber. But there's that. But like for car, maybe like $400 to $500 a month for the car payment and the insurance and gas and upkeep and all of that. So if you want that, and then parking and all of that, like it's up to you. Tuition, rent, transportation, food. Now this was a big bulk of my money because one Popeyes combo $9 to $11 or something like that. Like just basic everyday stuff that you grab and go. It add up. Trust me, it adds up. And if you were like me that was prioritizing going to work and going to school and not cooking per se, where a trip to the supermarket would go anywhere between $40 and $80, and it could have feed me for 2 weeks, but me never listened to that. Me did spend $10 and $5 and $20 and $13 for rice and peas and chicken food, you know. So just know that those add up. So depending on what you like and your cooking skills, your food budget may vary. But currently with my belly, my food budget is about, let's say about $300. I've been ordering on Skip the Dishes, but I have been cooking a lot. So about $300. Basic. Something like that. You always want to have, may have Get Vex money. May have Get Vex money upon this. Now with the Get Vex money, me learned that the hard way when I was going through a lot of things with landlords and stuff. I started to always have like 1 month's rent in the back, just so if me and them in an argument, me can just, you know, find one place. And it did come in handy when we did have to get one hotel room. Y'all, I got a story time coming, but we're under the impression say I saw the money there. So this is for your first September to December, and we are gonna do the final countdown of the amount of money you need to have up front. All right, 1.5 mil, which is, I'll put here 15,000, give or take, just your tuition amount. All right, let me clear this. 1.5, not 1.5. All right. $15,000 for your tuition, and then $2,800 for your rent, and then if you take taxi, if you're taking the bus, $250 for the month. That's if you live in Toronto alone, or if you live in Brampton or Mississauga and you work and live in those cities. if you have to cross city lines with Toronto, like if you live in Brampton or Mississauga, the same ticket can bring you across the border. If you live in Mississauga and you work in Toronto or you go to school in Toronto, you have to pay the 2 fare then. So just times that by 2, okay? Okay. So that, and then if you have a car, $400 or $500, maybe. Don't quote me on this, people. No, about car. Food for me, $300. And then you're gonna pocket money, so walk with one extra $1,000. Cause anything can happen, and you have whole heap of things where you have to sort out in your first week. I'm gonna do a video on that too. So 0, 5, 13, 8. Alright. $18,350. Right? $18,350 times, I'm gonna put the rate at 106 because of that needed buy for, and then them sell it back to me for $80 something. So it fluctuates. So that is 445,100. Alright? So 1.95. Now, that number covers tuition for the year, rent for the semester, and transportation for the month, and food, and basic bottom line stuff. So with that amount of money in the back, that's $2 million. And if you're thinking about studying abroad, like that is definitely a number that should be etched in the back of your head. And I know that a lot of people are gonna hear, we don't need that amount of money to do this or that and that. You don't need it, but I personally recommend you have it. I personally recommend, if you're gonna get one loan for the $2 million to pay your school fee and do everything, and then pay it back little, hats off to you. Again, I recommend September to December to get your ducks in a row, to fit into whatever situation is happening here, because again, a lot of us are going to be transitioning from just going to school to going to school, working, renting, being in a new place. It's a whole transition process. I highly recommend that. Like, just set yourself for the first semester, borrow the $2 million, you might good for the year or until the summer, where now you have to throw yourself out there. Yes, that's the money section. Now, me come up here with my big bright self, but me I come dominate the people them school, take over the scholarship them and go on with myself. That never happened. That never happened. The scholarships that were available for local students that their tuition isn't even half as heavy as ours, but the opportunities that we get are so great that we shouldn't be offended. So at the end of your study, you may or may not qualify to become a Canadian resident, permanent resident. So it's a small price to pay. Again, look on the money them. 1.945 Jamaican dollars, and it fluctuates. Ask your forex friend them. The market is not stable. So yeah, that's what I recommend. Again, you can go on with whatever them tell us, say, all right, at this amount you have to pay now and do this and do that. But I recommend having this money in your back pocket, having the means of getting it, having the financial support that is solid. Don't make your father tell us, say, I'm going to give you money and him not give you. And you run come up here. Don't do it. Don't make your mother do it. Don't make your friend promise you. Don't do it. I borrow, I beg, I sell, I keep dance. The amount of something me do, and we still end up in a turmoil. So be sure that the source of the money is concrete before you come here, so you have one less thing to worry about. That $2 million idea for the first 4 months, to have a flawless first 4 months, is my best advice to you right now. Take it from somebody that's been there and don't want to do that again. Okay, that's my recommendation. No, money was a big, like, I did one of the biggest push factors for me to come here. Yes, academia was the main, it's what got the ball rolling. But then me I say, I'm there Canada, I can't work on that school. Yes, dearie, my resume look nice because of it, because of the experiences I've gathered. But it takes a toll on you, and let me tell you why. As a student with a study permit, you are only allowed to work 20 hours a week. 20 hours a week. I think 24 if you work on campus, but 20 hours a week. And it's them 20 hours there. Minimum wage. You ready? Minimum wage is $14 an hour. $14 an hour. $14 an hour times 20 equal $280 a week. Given you get 20 hours. Now, a lot of the work shifts and so on that happen here, that I've been a part of, range from 5 to 7. So think of it as this: your boss schedule you for 5 hours one day and 7 hours one next day. Like, you can't work for less than 3 hours. So 7 and 7 are 14, and then 5. That's a 19, right? And that's a 3 day you work. This right? 7 and 7, 14. That's a 19. That's a 3 day you work. Cool? Oh, this is before tax. That's a before tax. $208 before tax. Me the year 2 year. Yeah, work since like 2017. I'm still not understand how the tax work, but just know say the amount of tax for Ontario take out of your money, and them work it. Alright? So don't even think say yeah, come here, come rich while doing the straight and narrow. So money shouldn't, coming here to get money shouldn't be the reason why you they apply for be a student. Go look at work, apply for a job, get a work permit, you're good. This is not where you're supposed to be looking to come to Canada to get rich. You're coming here to get rich in knowledge and experience, not in your pocket. So $280 before taxes. Now, some days or some weeks you're gonna get 7, 7, and 7. 21 hours, but it might be okay. Now, the first place that I worked gave me 8 and then 4. But the half-hour break where you get don't count tonight. So that's a 7.5 and 3.5. 11 hours for the week. 11 times 14, $154. 154 times 4, $616 before tax. After tax, me I look for like $400 and something. That can't even pay my rent for the month. That never used to pay my rent for the month. But a good thing me have a side hustle I can do here, and social media was my best friend. So yeah. Gonna have that for tackle when I come up here. So again, don't come up here thinking say I'm gonna get rich. Because if you get a job in the first September when you're here, save up the money, save up the money, save up the money. Because you're gonna need it, right? And then in September, or if you get a job that goes above minimum wage, and like stuff like that. I'm gonna do a video next about working in Canada and like dissect the whole experience as a student worker and give you a more detailed outlook on it. But again, this $280 before tax is why I recommend having the $2 million before you come here, because so your goal before I do the next video is 18,350 Canadian dollars, and start accumulate it now and save it. Open a Canadian account with NCB, open a Canadian account, put your money in there so it not fluctuate, or maybe you want it to fluctuate, I don't know. Put your money in a Canadian account and keep it there till you're ready to use it. And I feel like I'm not gonna do the working in Canada video next, because after you understand this amount of money, I feel like after you understand where I got the 18.3, after you understand how the $2 million come in, then you understand, say, oh, you have to go get it, and then try to make up your mind, say, you know, if you get it, and all of that, and you now look for no financial gain from Canadian side, then you're well on your way. And another reason why I think that this is very important is Canada wants you to show that you can afford to come here and pay the school fee and not be a burden on their already burdened system. So hustle up your money. Come back to my next video, because we're going to talk about applying to colleges here. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. My name is Tena-Kay, and I'm going to bed. Good night.